So we can try to take a few moments to quiet our mind by observing the breath mindfully for a few moments. Once our mind has settled down, then we can try to reflect, contemplate, and feel how fortunate and lucky we are to have this precious human life, met the Dharma, and to be born in a time when such as His Holiness Dalai Lama has appeared and had met him. How wonderful and how precious and how rare it is. So fortunate. And even though we have obtained such a precious human rebirth with all the right conditions to practice the Dharma, this body does not last for long. It will come to end. For sure. The only thing that unsure is that we don't know when it will come. Death could come anytime, any moment, without any warning. Therefore, I must utilize this incredible, precious opportunity now without wasting it before it's too late. By making our life more meaningful with a greater and higher purpose. And there's nothing more higher purpose or meaningful then to be able to help to liberate all sentient beings from all their suffering and cause of suffering. And to help them to achieve the ultimate happiness. In order to do that with our own direct experience, I need to achieve my highest potential, the fully awakened state, as soon as possible. To achieve that fully enlightened state, I must engage in the bodhisattva path practices. All the incredible bodhisattvas' attitude of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta mind, wisdom, their incredible practice, incredible aspirations, prayers. In order to practice them, I need to learn, study about them. Therefore, I'm going to listen to the teachings. Not only listen, but trying to apply as much as possible in our everyday life, whatever we learn. So, refuge in bodhicitta. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chodan Soge Chonam La Changchu Bado Dane Japsuch Dagi Soge Be Sonam Ge Dola Benje Sangye Dubaj Sangye Chodan Soge Chonam La Changchu Bado Dane Dagi Chushe Be Sonam Dola Benje Sangye Dubaj. Okay. Show that. So again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining again. Our second last sessions, and we're on page number 9, and we just finished the first verse from the page number 9, and that was where we discussed about the aspirations of the 8 incredible activities of the bodhisattvas, the vast activities, the 8 vast, like oceans of activities, training to have inspiration and praying to that. So, and not only to be able to cultivate an inspiration to, attain those vast ocean-like activities, but to be able to accomplish and complete within the minute, within 1 second of all of them, So that is, and it is mentioned, when one achieves the 10 bhumi, then that is where the bodhisattvas are able to complete, such as the, 10 powers, the 10 10 power that we discussed before, and also the 10 empowering. But while you are still on other bodhisattvas, even though you have not completed, but there is certain level of those practice. And those, even though those practice a high level of bodhisattva practice, but for us at the very beginning, we inspired to be able to engage in such practice, and thereby, engage in practice in whatever way that we can in our level. And by that, also, it leaves the imprint in our mind to be able to actualize those complete practice and qualities in the futures. So then next is, inspiration to follow, the Tathagatas, the Buddhas, to be able to follow and practice. So that is to awaken fully through the Bodhisattva way. I shall fulfill without exceptions all the diverse aspirations of awakening practice of all the Tathagatas gone to the freedom in 3 times everywhere. So, cultivating inspirations, just as all the Buddhas of 10 direction 3 times, have achieved their fully enlightened state for the benefit of all sentient beings by engaging into incredible bodhisattva practice, the awakening practice of bodhisattvas, with so much, vast ocean-like aspirations, attitude, prayers, in same way, then aspiring and praying that, may I be able to also follow the Buddhas, same like them, to achieve that fully awakened state for the benefit of all sentient beings, through the practice of the bodhisattva's path, way, and by engaging, by fulfilling all the incredible prayers, inspiration, practice, just like without any exceptions, just like all the bodhisattvas, all the Buddhas. So that is, in other words, praying, inspiring to be able to complete, all the vast ocean-like inspiration and the prayer of all the Buddhas by oneself. And next one is, next 3 verses is aspiring and praying to be able to follow like the bodhisattvas and their practice. In order to practice exactly as the wise one called Samantabhadra, all embracing good. So that's the Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, and who is extremely wise in his incredible inspirations, prayers, offerings, and to benefit sentient beings, and where all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have in one word together, they all call Samantabhadra, all embracing good, the noble one. Kundu Sambo, always noble one, always good ones, So by the elder brothers of the sons and daughters of the Buddhas, I completely dedicate all this goodness. So basically, dedicating whatever virtues, goodness, positive karma, merit that we have accumulated, dedicating, praying, to be able to follow and practice like the bodhisattva Samantabhadra, who is the great wise and noble one, and who is the, and in order to, liberate all the sentient beings, all the sentient beings to enlightenment. Likewise, may I dedicate, just as the skillful Samantabhadra, with pure body, speech, mind, pure action, and pure Buddha field. Also dedicating to be able to practice, to be able to follow and practice, just like the wise, skillful Samantabhadras. How, by engaging in a pure body, pure speech, pure mind, pure action, pure Buddha field, with those 5 purities. And the pure bodies is the Bodhisattva's Samantabhadra practice of that pure bodies is, to be able to manifest the body, in whatever way, whatever is most beneficial to the sentient beings, to manifest in that body, whatever is the most beneficial to that sentient being. So sometimes the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they can manifest as a human being. Sometimes they can manifest as an animal when it's beneficial to manifest in that way. It is also mentioned sometimes they can even manifest even as a non-animate objects, such as bridge, water, and other things. So whatever is most beneficial for individual, being able to manifest in those forms, to be benefit and help. And not only that, to be able to manifest countless bodies and to be able to visit those countless pure lands of the Buddhas, and thereby to be able to make countless offerings to all those Buddhas, make prostrations and paying homage, and to be able to receive teachings from all the Buddhas. So that is what was, pure. And not only that, even within 1 second, to be able to manifest that countless of those. Speech is to be able to manifest your speech with that, to be able to teach into whatever speech or language that each sentient being can understand. Not only be able to teach them in whatever language they're able to understand, but also, the speech always helpful, beneficials. And pure mind, the ability, to understand, each and each sentient beings, mental state, predispositions, levels, karma, to be understand all of them in a very short period, all of them, and to be able to understand all of that and to be able to guide them according to their needs. Pure actions, and pure actions is, the Bodhisattvas, Samantabhadra pure actions is in order to help and benefit sentient beings, then engage in the practice of 6 perfection or 10 perfections, the activity of that, as well as 4 means of gathering disciples and guiding and leading them, so, also through all incredible to be able to manifest and help through so many different concentrations, and to be manifest through concentration and pure Buddha field. By depending on the four other purity, then to be able to manifest Buddha field, countless Buddha field, and each of those countless Buddha field filled with all the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. So that is the and not only that, to be able to manifest countless of them within the short period. So is saying, just as Samantabhadra is able to do that, we aspire and dedicate all our virtues so that we can also practice and follow and practice like Samantabhadra with all these kind of 5 purities. I shall give rise to its inspiration of Manjushri for this bodhisattva practice of all embracing good. And also, this inspiration of Manjushri is called Manjushri in one of his previous life as one of the, king, Agasraja, the king at that time. He met an incredible inspirations that, that may he be able to remain until each and every sentient being is liberated, until, as long as the space remains, and until each and every sentient being is liberated, may I continue to be in here to benefit and help sentient beings. So that kind of incredible inspiration of bodhisattvas, so similar like that, bodhisattva Manjushri's aspiration, that is, of course, Manjushri has countless of also incredible aspirations, but again, that was one of those great inspirations, And for this bodhisattva practice of all embracing, which is the Samantabhadra, So here, 2 of them are kind of, even though there are countless bodhisattvas, those 2 are mentioned here, and both of them belong to the 8 bodhisattvas. Normally you see Buddha Shakyamuni with 8 bodhisattvas, and those 8 bodhisattvas are Manjushiris, Avalokiteshvara, Maitreya, Samantabhadra, Agash Garbha, Siddhi Garbha, Vajrapani, and then I think I'm Sai Nyingbo Siddhi Garbha, Nangay Nyingbo Agash Garbha, Tipse, Chonsamba Tipse, in Tibetan, I don't remember the Sanskrit. So there are those 8 bodhisattvas. So among 8 bodhisattvas, 2 of them are mentioned here, But of course, it is mentioned because both Manjushri is known for his wisdom and wiseness, skillful meaning his wisdom. Samantabhadra, known for his skillful in his prayers, aspirations, for his offerings that we often say the offering of Samantabhadras, and like that. But of course, it means not only them, but all other bodhisattvas, countless, vast, ocean-like aspirations, to perfect those practices without discouragement or pause in all future eons. So dedicating to be able to follow and practice, just like all the great bodhisattvas, such as Manjushri and Samantabhadra, continue to practice and pray and cultivate inspiration just like themselves, and to perfect all these practices. And in order to complete those practices, in order to complete and perfect those practices, then we need to continue to practice until we have been able to complete it and perfect all those practices. And therefore, as we continue to practice life after life for eons and eons, may we never give up, pause, without any discouragement, never be discouraged in all through those lives until we achieve enlightenment, never be discouraged, and never pause or give up, continue to practice. So that is, I'm dedicating for that to in other words, to follow and practice like all those great bodhisattvas as Geshe and Samantabhadra, dedicating for that. And to be able to practice without discouragement, but with a lot of joyful perseverance. Joyful perseverance. The next one is kind of summarizing. May my pure activities be endless. Since we have tried to aspire and dedicate to engage into all these vast ocean-like activities of the pure activities of the bodhisattvas, so which are endless, the bodhisattvas activities, the bodhisattva inspirations, the bodhisattvas prayers are endless, countless, endless, and since we have also dedicated to do that, so may all these my pure activities, which are endless, may my good qualities boundless, also bodhisattvas qualities are boundless, inconceivable, cannot be described by ordinary beings fully. We can only describe a little bit of them, ordinary being cannot conceive and describe them fully. They are inconceivable. And so therefore those qualities, which we have also again, aspire to achieve, dedicated to achieve, training to achieve, may all these good qualities be boundless. And through abiding in immeasurable activities, may I actualize infinite emanations, and through engaging and practicing, abiding immeasurable activities of the bodhisattvas to help benefit sentient beings according to their need, to engage in the peaceful activities, where it is needed, extensing, empowering, wrathful activities, whatever is the most helpful, beneficial to subdue the sentient beings, to help and benefit sentient beings through all these countless immeasurable activities. May I actualize infinite emanations, and through those emanations, countless emanations, infinite emanations, may I be able to again, continue to visit countless Buddha fields and make countless homage offering to the Buddhas in those countless Buddha fields. And through those infinite emanations, may I be able to visit, in those impure places where there are sentient beings who are suffering a lot, and wherever there's a need to be able to help benefit them. So, may I accomplish all infinite emanations, just like bodhisattvas. So next one is about the measurement of having accomplished the result of those inspiration and prayers. Limitless is the end of space. The space has no limit. You cannot say the space started from here and it ends here, there. It is kind of spaces like infinite, limitless. Not only space, similarly, likewise, limitless are living beings, also sentient beings are countless, limitless. Not only the sentient beings are countless, limitless. Thus, limitless are karma and afflictions. Sentient being karmas are limitless. Because there is no beginning to the sentient beings, there is no limit to the sentient beings' karma. Because they have been creating karma from the beginningless time. So therefore, they wouldn't. And not only that, the afflictions are also limitless. Thus, limitless karma and affliction. May my aspiration reach be limitless as well. So, in same way, may my aspirations be limitless, reach limitless, so that I can liberate those limitless sentient beings to free from those limitless karma and afflictive emotions, and so that to be able to lead them to fully awaken state. So that is the prayer, the inspirations is, just as sentient beings are limitless, their karma and delusions, which need to be cleared, which is the root of their sufferings, the antidote need to be limitless. And therefore, may my inspiration, the antidotes, be limitless, so that my inspirations, the antidote, the practice, my practice be my antidote, and my inspiration be limitless in order to purify limitless karma and delusion of those limitless sentient beings, so that I can free them from all their suffering, cause of suffering, completely, and lead them to fully enlightened state. So here it says, up to here it completes the main body of the actual prayers, the actual inspirations of the bodhisattvas, the actual bodhisattva practice inspirations. And here in our commentary, explain Shantideva has mentioned, that in the sutras, there's a descriptions of countless, 10,000,000 inspirations and prayers. And then Shantideva mentioned, when you summarize them, all these incredible inspirations, they summarize in 10 main 10 inspiration or prayers, and which is praying, dedicating, and inspiring to make offerings to countless, all sentient, to all Buddhas, to make offering all the time. That is one. The other one dedicating, inspiring, and practicing to hold the Dharma, to hold the Dharma, to protect the Dharma. That's the second. And then, third one is aspiring and dedicating and practicing to be able to visit, all the pure lands of all the Buddhas where they show incredible activities, to be able to go there and to be able to, again, as mentioned many times, to be able to pay homage, prostrate, offerings, and to listen to the teachings. And that is the third one. The fourth one is to be able to engage into all the bodhisattva practice all the time. That is another inspiration, dedications. That's the fourth one. The fifth one is to be able to ripen all sentient beings. Dedication of prayers, inspiration, practice, and to ripen all the sentient beings. And then the sixth one is dedicating prayer and aspiring to achieve fully enlightenment and to manifest countless worlds. And seventh one is to be able to manifest countless pure lands of the Buddhas, inconceivable countless pure lands of the Buddhas, where it is filled with incredible Arya Bodhisattvas, great Arya Bodhisattvas. And that is six. Seven is dedicating, praying, aspiring oneself to, have to be able to engage in those same thoughts and actions like all the bodhisattvas, same attitudes like the bodhisattvas, and same practice, activities, actions like the bodhisattvas. And then 9.1 is to engage in the supreme activities of all the practice and activities of the bodhisattvas. And then 10.1 is to dedicate and aspire to show, incredible activities of helping benefit sentient beings, which are as vast as the space. So those are the 10, and then those each of those verses we have gone through that. Okay. So the next one is, it comes to sections where it talk about the benefit of engaging in such aspirations, not aspirations. And within that, there are benefit that one can experience in this life and benefit that one experience in the futures. And within the benefit that one experience in this life, then there are four sects. And the first one is, by engaging such aspirations, such as all this aspiration which we went through, the aspiration of King of the Prayers, all these great bodhisattva inspirations, how we create so much merit in this life, how much incredible merit we create in this life. So here, that is the next two verse, page number 10, first and second verse. One may offer to the Buddhas, not only the Buddhas, not one Buddhas, but all the Buddhas of 10 direction, 3 times, all the Buddhas. If one make offering to them, the offering you make to them is all the wealth and adornment of infinite world in 10 directions. The object you make offerings is such as, all the wealth, especially the precious, 7 precious, like such as gold, silvers, diamond, pearls, turquoise, coral, and so forth, those precious stones, minerals, all this wealth and all other kind of most precious wealth that we find. And it's not just one, but infinite world in terms of numbers of those offerings is vast, And one may offer in terms of time, one may offer during the eons, numberless as atom world. Not just offering at one time, but for eons. It's like, in each atom, there's whole world. And each one atom, there's each world, so it is countless. And that kind of amount of eons is countless time. So if you make such, in terms of time, such long time, in terms of offerings, how much you offer is the offerings that is as equal as infinite world of 10 directions. And what you are offering is more precious offerings. So if you make offering, and to whom you are making is not one Buddha, to all the Buddhas of 10 directions 3 times. And not only that, even the greatest happiness of God and humans, all the greatest wealth, most precious, more greatest, objects, that give happiness to the gods and humans, In other words, all the precious of human and divine or celestial beings, if we make offering, then of course the merit we create is incredible. If we make one offering, even just one piece of gold, to even one sentient being, one time, you create a lot of merit. If you make that offering to all Buddhas, incredible. But all this precious wealth for countless eons and eons, and not just one, infinite objects, the merit we create is incredible. It is beyond our mind, it's beyond our ordinary mind to digest and to understand it. But here it is saying, but whoever hear these ordinary aspirations, and longing for the highest awakening with a strong, faith, with strong faith in this practice, in these prayers, and with the motivations or longing or with the motivations to achieve fully highest awakening, fully enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Give rise to the faith just once, with that faith in this practice, in this prayer, in these inspirations, with that kind of motivations. If you hear it, if you recite it, if you write it down, if you share with others, if you reflect, contemplate on them, one create far more precious positive potential merit than the previous ones. sometimes it blows our mind, you know. Sometimes we find hard to believe, you know. It blows our mind, and sometimes we find hard to believe them. And it's similar to what Buddha explained also in Dhammakata Sutra. He said, you know, if I have to explain all the benefit of reciting the Dhammakata Sutra, you will get crazy. I'm not going to explain that, he said. You know, your mind will blow up and you will not believe and you will be crazy. Your mind will get crazy because you cannot conceive, you cannot understand. It is beyond our ordinary mind. So therefore, I would not tell all the benefit, but I will only say some benefit. That is what Buddha mentioned in Dhammakata Sutra. He clearly mentioned, I'm not going to explain all the benefit because he said, he used the word you will get crazy. That meaning in sense that our mind will become, you know, because we will not be able to understand, conceive that. And therefore, and so similar here, you know, sometimes when they explain that, sometimes it is, you know, hard to digest. Hard to digest for us, all this benefit, you know. But again, one thing it was said by Buddha himself in this part of that sutra, as well in Dhammakata Sutra and many other sutras. And there is nothing for the Buddha to gain personally by telling those kind of lie, you know. So, and he see much more than what we can see, you know. And so therefore, there was as Dhammakiti says, and also his Holy Dalai Lama always use, and also you find in all others teaching as well. But one of the earliest source of those teachings you find in Dhammakiti's writing, you know, where he says he has analyzes the main subject and point of the Buddha's teachings, you know, the Four Noble Truths, you know, and especially the two truths. That is the very core teaching of the Buddhas. And when you analyze with that kind of reasoning, logic, inference is accurate. You cannot find fault in that. It's a truth, it's accurate. So when you cannot find faults in some of the main subjects, the core subjects of Buddha's teachings, then some other teachings which are beyond our mind at the moment, then we can accept them and we can believe them because the main point or main subject that Buddha has taught is unfallible. It can withstand all this reasoning and logics, and there's no fault in that, you know. And that being the case, some others where we cannot, unable to use same reason and logic completely, then we can kind of use other reason because the main point that he had taught that is with the reason logic is infallible, is a truth, and there is nothing for him to gain by saying this. There's nothing personal for him to gain from that, and so therefore we can kind of believe in him. And so that is another way of reasoning logics. And his Holy Dalai Lama always use this example. He says, you know, probably many of you might have heard, you know, what is your birthday? We all know our birthday. How do you know? Your mother says, your father says, your doctor, you have the birth certificate. You just believe them they did the right thing. There was no reason for them to create a false one. Nothing to gain them for create a false one. If there is something they can gain from them, then someone might do that. But again, with the basis of that, then there are a lot of things in our life we take. We believe on that because we know there's nothing for to gain them. And so, my mother told me I was born in, sheep ears, and in the mornings, and dawn times and this and that, Monday and this and that, because I don't know. I don't remember. I cannot recollect. But there is nothing for my mom to make all of this to gain. So you believe, even though you cannot experience directly, nor you can really use inference, something else inference like that. And so that is one of the example that certain subjects, like such as these ones, when the Buddhas talk about some of those benefits, um, mm. The next one is, the benefit of, overcoming low rebirth and non-virtuous friends, and to see the Buddhas at the time of death. Mm. So here, that's the second benefit. Those who make this heartfelt aspirations for the bodhisattva way, so again, those who make these heartfelt inspirations and recite, king the prayer, with the right intention, motivations, with the bodhisattva's attitude, in order to benefit all sentient beings, and to achieve the fully awakened state, benefit all sentient beings with that kind of intention, motivations, and then with the faith, as I described in the past, with the trust and faith in that. And when you make this kind of heartfelt inspiration and dedications, then that person's or being will be free from all lower rebirth, will be able to purify all the negative karma, that leads to the lower rebirth, such as, abandoning the Dharma, directly, indirectly harming the gurus, and hurting and harming bodhisattvas and other beings, as well as sentient beings, so forth, all the negative karma that we create that would lead to lower rebirth are being completely purified, and thereby, then we'll be free from all lower rebirths, free from humble companions, and then, one will be free from, negative companions, negative, mistaken teachers, gurus, negative friends that discourage and create obstacles for our practice towards our path. Those are the humble companions that who create obstacles and encourage us to engage in more negativities, non-virtual, unwholesome, will be free from such companions, And then at the time of death, one will quickly see Amitabha, infinite light, and so one will quickly see Amitabha, the infinite light. And when you see that, then again, you get into calm, peaceful, faith, and with all of that, and then you are being free from the energy birth in the lower rebirth, and you get guided and lead towards Amitabha Pure Lands. Okay, so that. And then third benefit is that one will find all the conducive conditions, easily, to practice the Dharma, to engage in the bodhisattva's path, and and then one will be able to also make progress in bodhisattva's practice quickly and achieve enlightenment, and like Samantabhadra. So then here, even in this very human life, in this very life, they will be nourished by the happiness and have all the conducive circumstances. So one will be nourished by the happiness. For such practitioners, even the obstacles, they transform into the path. Even the obstacles, problem, pain, challenges, they are able to transform into the path. By being able to transform into the path, they're nourished by happiness instead of sufferings. For ordinary beings, where they don't have the ability to transform into the path, when they don't have the tools to transform into the path, then when they encounter obstacles, problems, difficulty, challenges, they experience pain and sufferings. But for such practitioners, because they are able to transform them in the path, so they will be nourished by happiness, even in such circumstances, even in difficult circumstances, and have all the conducive circumstances to practice the path, especially the bodhisattva path, and to continue to practice the path in terms of to meet qualified gurus or teachers easily, without so much struggles. Some people, they struggle to find qualified teachers. They're consciously looking for a teachers, but they cannot find the teachers for years and years. But for some, without even looking for them, without any difficulty, they find qualified, really truly qualified gurus manifesting just in front of them without any difficulties. That requires a lot of merit. That requires a lot of good positive potential. So that is, one of the conducive circumstances. And to meet friends who have similar path that inspire us, that are supportive of our path, because if you don't have family and friends who are not supportive, then it can be sometimes difficult to practice. I have met some students, where they have partners, where they say either you choose Dharma or me. you know, that will be very difficult because both of them are so important for them equally. And to give in you have to make a choice, one of them, like, so that kind of environment, some people, even they have the inspiration, even they have the wish to practice, they don't have the right circumstances, conducive circumstances. They are surrounded by friends, families, others who are extremely negative about your path. Not supportive, but extremely negative about your path, which make you very uncomfortable. So again, for some, they are surrounded by such friends, families, who are very supportive, whether they believe in what your path or not, but they are at least supportive of that, helpful, supporting you. And that helps a lot. If you don't have that supportive, then for some people, it becomes extremely difficult. They have to make most difficult choices, So that is, and to be able to find that, and also conducive places, environment. In certain environment is hard to practice. It's not a supportive environment. And sometimes, again, you try to search for such environment, you struggle. But some people, they find such environment so easily, And so that is conducive conditions. And all others conditions that we need, basic necessaries for our practice. Some people want to practice, but then they struggles their life. And so they never get the time to really study and practice because just trying to live becomes struggles. The struggle just trying to live, just trying to make living becomes struggles. So they are constantly chasing, running after some things just to make them so they can live. And because they are so constantly struggle with that, they don't have time and the mental state to kind of study and to practice, meditate, all of that. For them, it looked like that is a luxury for them. It's a luxury, something for them, because they are struggling. So again, instead of such struggles, to have easy resources. Some people, without so much struggle, they have all the resources so easily. That help them to dedicate themselves, their time, to study and practice. Allow them to. So those are the conducive conditions. So here is saying, when we recite such inspiration, the King of Prayer, then through the merit, through the positive karma, through the positive potential that we have created, that will nurture happiness and have all these kind of conducive circumstances. Without waiting long, and not only you have one gather and have all these conducive conditions, but without much difficulty, quite easily, without so much struggles, without much difficulties, And without long, they will become like Samantabhadra himself, Then, without long, they will, through such aspirations, prayers, dedication, and inspirations, driven by those inspirations, is inspire your mind to practice the Bodhisattva path, and through practicing the Bodhisattva path, to be by cultivating the Bodhisattva attitude, of bodhicitta mind, and by engaging the 6 perfection, 10 perfections, and then one is able to make progress very quickly on the bodhisattva path, make very progress very quickly, easily, without so much struggles, without so much taking so much long time, and then gradually become like Samantabhadra himself, not only bodhisattvas, but very highly bodhisattvas. Not only then, eventually the fully enlightenment very quickly. So that is the benefit here. And the fourth one, the fourth benefit in this life, those who give voice to these extraordinary aspirations. Again, with the with the motivations of the bodhisattvas, bodhicitta motivations, with a strong faith in the practice itself, and with that kind of motivations and with the faith, and when you engage in this such practice, such as reciting, give voice to these extraordinary aspirations, reciting that in the form of voice, bringing those extraordinary bodhisattva inspirations in the voice, in that recitations, will quickly and completely purify the five boundless harmful actions created under the power of ignorance. Those are the, I guess, different translations have heinous crime. Sometimes you see 5 uninterrupted negative karma in Tibetan Semenga, and here is translated boundless harmful actions. So I guess you might see different translation in different, but in Tibetan it's Semenga, the 5 direct literal translation, the 5 uninterrupting karma or actions. And the reason is uninterrupting means if when you engage any of those 5, if you don't purify, then by very next life you will be born in the lower realms without any interruption by others' birth life. Other negative karma, it can be interrupted. You could experience result of that after 100 lifetimes. 10 lifetimes, after 100 lifetimes, after 1,000 lifetimes, after 100,000 lifetimes. But these karmas, if you don't purify, then immediately, without any interruption between that, you will be born in lower realm. So that is why it's called uninterrupting, And those are, killing one's fathers, killing one's mothers, killing the arhat, what do you call, wounding the Tathagatas, and then dividing the sanghas. So those are the those 5. Here is for boundless harmful actions, but those 5 uninterrupted. And so it's by reciting these prayers with such right intentions and with the faith and everything, then all this, even those karma, will be completely and quickly be purified. That which we might have created, under the power of ignorance, motivated by the ignorance on the fundamental level, and then due to that fundamental ignorance, then either out of attachment, either out of jealousy, either out of anger, either out of greediness, whatever, then we engage in one of those actions, one of those 5 actions. by engaging in one of those five actions, then if you don't purify it, it will immediately lead to the lower rebirth. Even such action can be completely and quickly be purified by such reciting such with the right intentions and faith. So that is, and so here is mentioned, normally this kind of karma is called definitive karma, that you will definitely experience the result if it's not really purified. So he said, if and among negative karma, these are the most heaviest negative karma. Those five are one of the most heavy negative karma among the negative karmas. So if even the most heavy negative karma can be purified, then there's no doubt that the lighter negative karma will be purified by such practice. So here, what he's saying, even the most heavy negative karma, even the most strongest and most powerful and heavy negative karma can be purified. So if you can purify that, then of course all other negative karma, which are less powerful, less heavy, more lighter, they will absolutely be completely and quickly can be purified. Okay. So it has a very powerful is a very powerful purifications, can be powerful purification as well. Again, when it's done correctly in the right way. When it's done with the right understanding what those meanings are, when you are able to feel those inspiration from your heart with the right intention, faith, and then when you do that, you actually are able to remember or recollect each of those incredible bodhisattvas inspirations, and really cultivating strong inspiration to obtain those inspirations, and with that, and then dedicating that when it's done correctly in the right way, then it can be such a powerful. Of course, if we don't do correctly, then of course it's still beneficial and helpful to create merit, to purify and dedicate for others, all of that, but we might not have exact result, complete result as is mentioned here. To have the complete result or the benefit as is mentioned here, then it requires not only just reciting, there is much more into that. Yeah, are we clear? The requirement of many other factors, the right bodhicitta motivations, the faith, right bodhicitta motivation, faith. Not only right bodhicitta motivation and faith, also there is some good understanding of each of those different inspirations that we are, and not only understand that really cultivating those inspirations, in your heart, and then expressing that inspiration in the world, with this dedication prayers. So I might recite something, but I might not feel that. So there's a difference when someone feel it and then express that feeling in the form of dedication prayers. And so I think that is, we have to make a little bit clarity on that, and I think that is same with all the benefit that we find, even in Dhammakata Sutta, when they talk about the benefit of that, I think there is a lot of other factors involved to have the full benefit, complete benefit as is described in the sutras. If those other factors are not completed, then we still get benefit, but not the complete benefit. because otherwise sometimes, well, I recited it, but I can't see any those, I cannot feel and see those benefits. And then we started to have doubt, and all of that. But again, to have the complete benefit, many factors, we have to take in consideration of many of those factors. And many of those factors you see in some of, even though it doesn't come with each verses, but in some verses, it comes where the motivation, the faith, and many other factors, understanding and feelings, those inspiration, all of those. So after building up all the expectation, now it has been poured down water. It's like, it's boiling so strongly, and now the water has been poured. Now it started to calm down. So next, then it explained the benefit in the futures, in the future life. And within that, then it has two kind of, explaining by condensing the cause, and then explaining by condensing the result. And in the summarizing, condensing the cause, here it says, blessed with supreme knowledge, excellent body, family, attribute, and appearance, they will be invisible to vast interfering forces, misleading, and all three worlds would make offerings. So if one practice this practice correctly, as it is, as with all the right condition, as factors that I just mentioned, with all these qualities or attribute, or with all the right conditions, if one practice, then it is said in the future lives, one will be blessed with the supreme knowledge. So whether you are born in a human or as a god in one of the, you will be born in one of the higher rebirth, because earlier it says it will purify, you will be free from the lower rebirths, So if you are free from the lower rebirth, then you will have a higher rebirth, such as human and gods. And when you're born as human and god, then it is say, you will have the supreme knowledge, such as the five signs, the science of inner knowledge, which is like the Dharma, and then other science, such as, arts, poetries, and so forth. There is the five major science and 5 minor science that it describes. So some of those, basically knowing those knowledge, supreme knowledge, one will be really good at those, you are blessed with that knowledge, and just like you find children who are born with such talent and knowledge from very young age, some of them without having taught, and some of them need to be taught very little. You see all these kind of genius children, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, who does incredible mathematics, music, all kind of different talents. They're born with that. They're born with those knowledge. So that is here similar, like blessed with such knowledge, supreme knowledge. Excellent bodies, Excellent bodies, healthy bodies. Of course, we need healthy body as well as, attractive appearance. Attractive appearance in order to be more health benefit to other sentient beings. And sometimes even for your own self-confidence, I guess sometimes, some people feel they don't feel self-confidence because of their appearance, even the external appearance. But when you have better external appearance, sometimes for certain people, it gives them more self-confidence about themselves. So it helps for self-confidence, as well as it helps to benefit other sentient beings. And I think His Holiness Dalai Lama made, you have heard, and it became he made a comment, and then it became a kind of controversy, when he was asked once whether the next Dalai Lama can be woman. He said, yes, it could be, woman, but he said, he made joke, but maybe a little bit joke, a little bit maybe same, true. But when I come as a woman, I will come as very attractive, beautiful, attractive. And I think that become a big kind of, some people make it big out of it and become a little bit of controversy about that. But again, you do see quite few like that in the scriptures, in the prayers. And the reason is for the bodhisattvas to help and benefit others, coming that help to reach more people. More people are attracted to that, and more people listen to that. It is something that we would like to think that is not the case, but reality is case. We would like to think people will not be discriminating, and they will pay same attention and be attracted to, if you have the knowledge, how you look it, but it's not the case always. There are a lot of people out there who will pay more attention, get attracted, how you look it. So that is why such attributes help to reach more people and help and benefit more sentient beings. There is stories, of Milarepa Rechung. Rechungpa was one of his disciples. Of course, Milarepa, many disciples, one of the disciples of Rechung, lay practitioner. He was tall, handsome, very good-looking man, And at one time, he attracted more than Milarepa, people. He attracted more people. People came to see more him, even the Milarepa, when he was living around the same places, in the kind of retreat places, close by. But more people actually went to visit him, see him, all of that. And I think because he was still in the training, he hasn't reached the same level of Milarepa, he felt a little bit kind of proud, a little bit kind of proud and arrogant, And then one day Milarepa mentioned, people didn't come because of your knowledge, it came because how you look it, because your physical appearance, So make him crush his pride and his ego and arrogant. And Milarepa point out correctly that there is more people, not necessarily because of your inner knowledge, but because of your external appearance. And that is one example. There is an example of, I haven't read myself, but I heard from other monks and others. The first Karmapa was not good looking, I think even in picture, he looked a little bit, he's not very attractive, and even he found that how people respond differently because how you look, even you have the same knowledge or even better knowledge to share and that, but based on your appearance and based on your external appearance, whether people pay attention or not, whether people are attracted or not, he saw that, and he made a prayer that in all futures that he will come as a beautiful man, beautiful, nice looking, beautiful. And those are like, they experience, even as a great master, bodhisattva, they experience how it is so important to have that in order to reach more people, to benefit more people. So that is why here like that. In families, families and other factors, maybe in a modern time, maybe that might be a little bit less, but it used to be a very big thing. What family you belong, And that is why even the Buddha Shakyamuni, when he decided to come in this world, and he chose royal family, come in a royal family. He chose to come in a royal family instead of coming as a peasant lord. And that makes huge difference. If he was not brought from royal families, he could have been prosecuted for this new spiritual path that he was against, the very strong path that was where there's strong caste system, and he was against those caste systems. He was fighting against all those strong, very strong, embedded, rooted in culture, and very powerful people, the teachers, the kings, all of them. He wouldn't be able to reach out as much as he was able to do because he was a royal family from prince. They wouldn't dare to do that action to him. And therefore, because of that, a lot of royal families started to follow him, his followers. Was a lot of his cousins, and not only cousins, others non-relative, but a lot of royal families, not only royal families, also then higher caste peoples. If he was born in a lower caste system, they will not be able to follow him. They will not follow him, even no matter how enlightened he might be. He might have the same knowledge, same experience. He will not be able to reach out so much. But because of that families, then it was right environment, in such environment, to spread the message, to share the knowledge, to share the wisdom, and to reach so many sentient beings. Those play a big role. Sometimes we forget each those details. How physical appearance can play a role. What background, what family that you come from can play a role. How much you are able, whether you can reach more people or not. Attributes and appearance. So you will have, attractive, healthy body with a attractive, beautiful bodies, born in the strong, powerful families, so that you can be more helpful, beneficial to sentient beings as a bodhisattva, to help benefit, and all other attributes, that you need to be able to reach and to help and benefit others. They will not, and also, you will be invisible to the vast indifferent force of misleading teachers. You will not be under the influence of misleading teachers. You will not be misguided by those misleading teachers. And also those vast interference forces will not be able to interference in your path, in your practice. And all the three worlds will make offering, and you become the objects of all three worlds. You become the object of offerings, homage, prostrations. So I think that is all today. Any questions from today?
Geshe, I have a general question
Yes, please.
about, when we talk about pure lands and Buddha fields. So sometimes I've heard that, our world is Buddha Shakyamuni's pure land, but our world is, so difficult and contaminated. So I'm trying to understand, like, when they say a pure land, what do they mean?
I don't, I wouldn't say our world is Buddha Shakyamuni's pure land. Buddha Shakyamuni manifested in our impure land to help and benefit sentient beings. Normally, the description of pure land is, of course, is created by the vast merit and vast inspiration prayers which they have made when they are on the path as a bodhisattvas. Each bodhisattvas, when they are training on the bodhisattvas, they make dedication, prayers, inspiration. When I become enlightened, may I have this kind of, you know, place where it is full of this and this, and so there's slightly different, not so much, but general all Pure Land has more or less similar descriptions. So in the Pure Land there is no sufferance, and we know here there is sufferance. So we know that's why we are known as Pure Land. In the Pure Lands, general description is sentient beings are not born in like warm eggs and from the heat like that here, but normally they are manifestings, self-manifestings. Sometimes they're described born from the lotus, without any warming like that. So that is one of even the way they are born is different, even though every being in the Pure Land is not fully enlightened, but they don't have sufferance, And so then also there's many different descriptions of the place, in Pure Land, the sound you hear from the bird singing, the tree blowing, the the wind blowing the trees, the leaves, you hear the sound of the Dharma, and so therefore it becomes easy to practice the Dharma. So those are the descriptions, some of the descriptions of all the Pure Land, more or less. And so therefore, sure, we know that our land is not that.
No, that's why I was very surprised when I've heard, some people say that this is what I was saying earlier. But Geshe, is Pure Land means the same thing as a Buddha field? Or do they mean different things?
It's a different terms, but when you say Buddha field, it could be more than a Pure Land. Pure Land, it will be one part of the Buddha's field, but Buddha field could be more than the Pure Land. Even the Sambhogakaya, even the not Sambhogakaya, yeah, Nirmanakaya, no, Dharmakaya, the field can be a Buddha field, but we wouldn't say it's a pure land. Pure Land has that kind of sudden contribute, a certain description and contribute on that, and not all the Buddha land has that same that contribute,
So when they
contribute,
actually. So if Buddha fields, within Buddha fields, you can have Pure Lands.
Yes.
So in the rest of the Buddha field, it is a place for Buddhas, like maybe our world is a Buddha field for Buddha Shakyamuni, like so he can manifest and they can have activities.
Yeah, you could say Buddha field, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the Buddha field a a place then for Buddhas to,
wherever the Buddhas are, probably we could, I don't know whether you can say Buddha field, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, because sometimes I feel like those terms are used to mean exactly the same thing, but and sometimes they're not. So I'm very confused about this whole topic.
But for sure, this is not the Buddha's pure land, for sure, that we can see.
So when we're doing mandala offerings, Geshe-la, and then we say, I imagine this as a Buddha field and offered as a pure land. Then in that sense, obviously, we're just offering like a pure land with all the good conducive conditions for study and practice.
Yes, we are manifesting this ordinary place into that pure land, and then visualizing, and then offering as that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that is why sometimes the bodhisattvas make a choice not to be born in pure land, instead to born in a non-pure land where there's more sufferings, so they can be more helpful and beneficial, because there's much more suffering and there's more needs of the suffering beings than in a pure land. Even though they are in pure land, there are sentient beings who are not enlightened, but still they have less sufferings. So there is more need for them to be in places where there's more sufferings. And so therefore the bodhisattvas, even they have the choice to be born in pure land, they actually make the decisions not to be born there, and actually to born in a place where there's more pain and more sufferings,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to ask, Geshe-la? Shall I screen share the prayers, Geshe-la?
Yes, please. Would you lead, Sneh?
Okay. So we're reciting Shantideva's prayer, some verses that have been selected from chapter 10 of Bodhicharyavatara. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored in finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from the ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world.
Okay, thank you very much everyone for joining, and see you next week for the last sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la.